Today we are witnessing the beginning of a new and unfolding democracy. Zimbabwe was once one of Africa's most promising economies but suffered decades of decline as Mugabe pursued policies that included the violent seizure of white-owned commercial farms and money printing that led to hyperinflation. Most of its 16 million people remain poor and face currency shortages and sky-high unemployment, something Mnangagwa promised to address. "We want to grow our economy, we want peace in our country, we want jobs, jobs, jobs," he told the crowd, adding, "The will of the people will always, always succeed." Mnangagwa's dismissal was the trigger for the army and former political allies to move against Mugabe, fated as an independence hero when Zimbabwe broke with former colonial power Britain in 1980 but later feared as a despot. He resigned as president on Tuesday as Parliament began an impeachment process, after resisting pressure to do so for a week. People danced in the streets following his downfall, some brandishing posters of Mnangagwa and Army Chief General Constantino Chiwenga, who led the takeover. Parliamentary Speaker Jacob Mudenda said on Wednesday that Mnangagwa would be sworn in as president on Friday after being nominated by ZANU-PF to fill the vacancy left by Mugabe. "Let's give him time." The demise of Mugabe leaves Zimbabwe in a different situation to a number of other African countries where veteran leaders have been toppled in popular uprisings or through elections. Restoring the country's fortunes and international standing will be a challenge. Alleged human rights abuses and flawed elections prompted many Western countries to impose sanctions in the early 2000s that further hurt the economy, even with Chinese investment to soften the blow. Staging clean elections next year will be key to winning fresh funds. Old elites. Although Mnangagwa is almost certain to win any vote, German Chancellor Angela Merkel's personal representative for Africa, Gunter Nuke, said it would be a victory for Zimbabwe's old elites with the help of China. "He will manage to get elected using fear or many tricks, and then we'll have a succession from one tyrant to the next," Nuke told broadcaster SWR2. China's foreign ministry said on Wednesday it respected Mugabe's decision to resign. In London, Prime Minister Theresa May said Britain wanted Zimbabwe to rejoin the international community now that Mugabe has resigned. Mnangagwa met neighboring South Africa's President Jacob Zuma before his return on Wednesday. Mugabe is one of the last of a generation of African leaders who led their countries to independence and then ruled, among them Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya, Felix Houphouët-Boigny in Ivory Coast and South Africa's Nelson Mandela. The African Union said he would be remembered as a fearless Pan-Africanist liberation fighter and the father of the independent Zimbabwean nation, and that his decision to step down would enhance his legacy. But he also stifled democracy en route to winning a series of elections. His government is accused by the opposition and human rights groups of persecuting and killing opponents. The forced takeover of white-owned farms from around 2000 aimed to bolster his popular support but crippled foreign exchange earnings from agriculture. Mnangagwa's human rights record also stirs hostility in many Zimbabweans. For him to really be seen to be doing the right thing, he's going to have to introduce policies that fundamentally undermine the power structures of ZANU-PF, through a shift to genuine political pluralism and a decoupling of the party and state.